Hey everyone, Marius here. Real quick, this is the first episode of our new podcast. It's called A Dungeon About, and it's a podcast about RPGs and game design and narrative and storytelling and all the things we like, all the nerd stuff that we usually talk about live on stream. And we just decided to make a podcast out of it. In this first episode, we mostly talk about Total War Warhammer, a little bit of Crusader Kings, and then we look at the new trailer for Indika and stuff. I hope you will enjoy it.
I haven't done much except expand my high-elven empire in the...
Oh, and Warhammer?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
Yes, I finally managed to reach the sea, and now I am trading with everybody.
Do you have a nuclear bomb? I learned
Not
that
yet.
last time. That nuclear weapons in Warhammer.
No, but I do have an army of dragons. That's quite fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's
So,
like Game of Thrones.
I'm getting into it now, but the high elves, they're like 4 or 5 different factions of high elves, and
Right.
most of them occupy an island in the middle of the map.
Called Morrowind.
No. I don't know if it's... Does it have a name? I'm not sure. But the map is called the Eye of the Vortex. And there's the vortex is in the middle of this island, and the elves are sort of protecting it.
Aptly named.
And
Isn't that part of WoW lore as well? That kind of thing?
there's a vortex.
Like the Shattered Isles or something? Am I wrong?
That too, though I don't know where that actually is. But there's a vortex in the middle of the map.
Yeah, and elves are like safekeeping it. Yeah?
I don't think so. It's
Okay.
it's
I don't know WoW lore that well.
No, in World of Warcraft, it's pretty remote, in the middle of like the entire map, basically,
Right.
and pretty far from everything.
Okay.
But
Warhammer.
yes, one of the factions is quite different because it is the Dragon Prince, whose name I have forgotten, honestly.
Don Solarione, BTW. This map is basically the Earth, but with giant vortex where Europe should be.
Is that true? Hey, Vincent, can you go to Firefox here and open up the Warhammer map? Do you want to?
Sure.
Turn the screen reader off, by the way. We've got lots of improvements today. No longer a robotic voice blasting into your ears. For some reason, that was louder in the recording than for us, so we didn't notice. But it's. I think it's all been fixed now.
Is that? I mean, I guess so. I mean, this isn't the Total War map. But this is the Eye of the Vortex resource and starting location map.
Okay.
And yeah, this is quite similar to, like, there's Africa and southeast, and then basically America, north and south.
So wait, hold on. Does that mean that they've like assigned races in Warhammer to hypothetically?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know this gets real dicey real quick. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it like so, Vincent? What kind of race is in like Central Europe?
Well, in Central Europe,
Is the
Don
vortex?
Solarione,
The high elf.
banned from Twitch.
Yeah, I know. I'm really speedrunning this whole getting banned thing. So,
oh boy.
so you were saying that's where the vortex is?
Yeah, the vortex in the map that I'm playing is basically in the middle of the map. And
Okay.
the high elves live there. But there's the Dragon Prince that has basically left his empire behind and is exploring the world. And you start on the very east end of the world.
Okay.
In like an extremely remote location surrounded by dwarves and undead vampires and lizard men.
Just like Berlin Mitte, right?
Kind of, yes.
Badumchi. Yeah.
It's interesting because he has a special. I assume special because I haven't played the other high elves, but he has dragon encounters. So every 20 turns or so, a dragon appears, and then you can approach it and give it influence or money or whatever, and get something in return. Or you can fight it and
prove yourself.
Yes, and recruit it for your army, and
That's cool.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it also the issue is that you face at the beginning that you can't get back to your empire because there's so much room between two, and you have good relations to the other elf factions, but you can't do anything with that because they're on the other end of the world. And I finally got to a point where I actually have now a harbor that connects to the basically the ocean, and now I can trade with everybody.
Now you're seafaring elf.
Yes,
that's
and
good.
we're getting so rich, and it's good.
Nice. You can exploit the third world countries on the. So where do they put dwarves? I'm obsessed with this now. What real life nation people is most like dwarves in the eyes of Games Workshop?
So on the map that I'm playing, they are basically on the east side of the map.
So Russia. Because that would have been my pick.
Sort of, yes.
Dwarves are Russian or English sometimes.
But also, I think Africa. So the south, just to the east. The northeast, there are like beastmen and barbarians, basically.
Dancilarione, and also South America.
Oh, yeah? That makes sense.
Really?
Honestly, if I were to design it, you would put dwarves on every continent. You'd probably put, if you want to make it safe, you know what I mean? Safe. You would put every race on every continent, but, like distribute them in a funny way.
Yes, if you want to. But it is Warhammer.
Yeah. They don't care about that stuff. Good for them. It's just a crazy decision to make it like the actual world map. But I kind of like it. I don't know.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are dwarfs all over, basically. I didn't know.
It should be.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember that they are indeed in South America.
Which part of South America?
Like the very, very south.
Okay.
West, I think.
Right.
Like in some.
It's not like I know the geography of South America. I'm an idiot when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, it's basically.
I know there's like this
Chile,
mountain chain in the
think.
West.
Yeah. And behind that are the dwarfs, I think.
Oh, yeah?
I've
that
never
makes sense, yeah.
To be clear, I've never actually started in the southwest of the map, so I don't know how. Like because at the beginning of the game, a lot of you start with a lot of factions, and then within 10-ish turns,
right,
a lot of factions are gone and assimilated.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
and it does that. The AI just does that.
Yeah, and I mean you too, right?
Right.
On the first turn, you start taking out.
Dancilarione. Listen, undead pharaoh are in the North Africa. They are not hiding it at all.
Okay, but that's cool. Okay, they did it right then. That's. I mean, I talked about Dominions 3 last time, if I remember, and they did that too, right? They have metaphors for like real life cultures and stuff, and good for them. Like I love that stuff. It's just sometimes you can accidentally make sort of weird statements by doing that.
Oh yeah, no, I also just realized that the kingdom of men are basically where Europe would be.
Of course. That is the standard by which we measure everything.
Of course.
It's in the center of the map for a reason. It's also the center of the universe.
Yes.
But, I mean, to be fair, like I guess it was made by European men mostly. By Games Workshop. Sorry for every woman walking around, but it's like that's the cliche, right?
Yeah.
It's like nerdy guys from England separating the world into pieces and designing dwarves
and
wherever
fighting.
they fit. Yes, it makes sense also to just put dwarves wherever mountains are, if you think about it.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Yeah. And plus some cool aquatic dwarves, which I hope. Are there any aquatic races in Warhammer?
Yes, there are.
Like Atlantis people?
I don't know about that. I don't think so. But there are certainly in the game at least. There's the Vampire Coast, which are basically vampire pirates.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, and there's also a faction that basically it just has just an island in the middle of the ocean, and that's where they start, and they don't really expand either. It's just
what do you mean island? Like Australia or like Iceland?
No, more like Iceland.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah,
is that where you just play SimCity Warhammer?
Basically, yeah. No, it's really tough to conquer because it's in the middle of nowhere.
Right. You have to, but you could do it now because you're seafaring.
I could, yes,
Yeah.
but currently I'm in a war with the Greenskins.
Right.
And that's they have just started a walk on my capital city, which is an issue. But
I have two questions about Warhammer. One, this whole world map thing is new to me. Is there like a board game version of this where you could play Warhammer Risk? Because that would be really fun. Because Risk always had the world map, right? And it was sort of a fun game. I used to play that with my sister and her boyfriend over multiple days, and it was fun. But how you could make it more fun by introducing dwarves and orcs.
yeah, I don't know. I've never actually played Risk,
Yeah,
to be honest.
it feels like it's not a Games Workshop thing to do that.
No,
Yeah,
but I mean, it does feel like the Warhammer map would work for Risk.
sure. Yeah, after what you've described just now, and yeah, but okay. The other question is there and I think this exists, right? Some kind of grand strategy, like Crusader Kings-esque version of Warhammer. Do you know what I mean?
Crusader.
You know Crusader Kings, right?
Yes.
Like everyone, do I have to explain what that game is? It's like you play through. I'm doing it now, I guess. It's just this grand strategy game where you just have the overall map and you pick a sort of family and you play through the sort of historical period of where does it start? Like 800 after Christ of the Common Era.
It's either 800 or I think 1100 or 1300.
I think that's when it ends, doesn't it? I was going to say from 800 to about 1300. Let's just say roughly the era of the Crusades.
No, I'm saying there are different starting points.
Oh, okay. Well, there's also different games, right? Depending on which Crusader. It gets complicated. But think historical grand strategy game and you play these individual families and you have to like make assassinations and you can become the Pope and stuff. Have I characterized Crusader Kings adequately, would you say?
Yeah, it gets pretty wild.
It does.
Want to sleep with the Pope?
You totally can, and I love it. But like, and this is made by I believe Paradox is the publisher and possibly developer of these games, and they have other ones too, right? Like weird ones like Victoria, where you play through the Victorian period and like the 19th century, and you can like that's a game that lets you research Impressionism. Like that's like I am into that kind of stuff, but they're also very dense. You basically just play tables and stuff, Excel sheets. But what I was asking is like, is there a Warhammer version of that? Because that might make it more accessible for me, actually.
I don't think so. Honestly, the Total War games are quite different to the Crusader King.
Yeah. You actually play battles and stuff, right?
Yes. But I feel like that's the closest you'll get.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was just wondering. Or maybe someone made a mod or something.
I know there's for Crusader Kings, what I think 3 is the last one. There's a vampire mod, so
so just like I don't know, Joan of Arc can have fangs now or something. That's cool. Yeah, that is a like. What were you saying?
Just if you want to be immortal, which
I do.
Exactly.
This should be clear by now.
Yeah.
You can in Crusader Kings.
Exactly.
That's great. I've never mentioned this to you. This is actually on my list for games to play on stream and has been for Crusader Kings.
Oh, okay.
And has been for a long time.
Didn't you play that with Renee already?
No. It was like I know that Renee likes the game and has played it, but we never sort of committed to playing it on stream.
Okay.
And it's also like he was all like, "Oh, we have to like read the manual before and like do tutorials," and I was just, "No, let's just play it. Let's kill Joan of Arc."
You know what I find interesting about this game, and I've played it a bit, not extensively, but there are two ways how you can play it. You can play it to win,
right?
Which is very complicated and difficult.
Yeah.
Or you can play it as an improv situation creator, basically, and just follow along because you can't. It's hard to really lose at some point.
It's a simulation, right?
Yeah.
At its heart, and you could just role play your like Irish family, like Lord family.
Yeah, and
you're always noble. You can't play a peasant, I guess.
That's also a lot of fun.
That's sort of what I'm interested in. And I think Rene was playing it more as like, he wanted to conquer Sicily and like reestablish the empire of Constantinople and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we all know he has like sort of desires for empire and governance and
crusades.
power. Yeah.
Can I tell you one story from my game?
Please.
So I started in Ireland, which is I think just the tutorial starting point.
Yeah, you start. The normal is the Irish starting point. Ireland. I guess that's an island. Yeah.
Yes.
As far as I know. No, that Rene told me that's the suggested sort of campaign. Like, let's play an Irish lord.
And I was still learning the game, didn't know what was going on, slowly expanding, but like even taking Ireland was quite the feat. And then the Pope called out for the Crusades, and I figured, well, they're asking for my troops, so let's send them some troops.
Yeah.
And then I sent my oldest daughter to that area, the rather
Jerusalem,
half insel, Jerusalem.
Right.
And there were just massive armies walking around everywhere and destroying cities, taking them, retaking them. And I started sieging a small city, basically.
Yeah.
And they couldn't really defend, but I didn't have enough troops to do anything with that. So that was how I spent the Crusades, basically, just sieging that city.
Right.
And at the end, when after, 20 years or so, the Crusades were done, they looked at the points. And because I had continuously sieged this one city, I had gained the second highest rank. And they gave my daughter Jerusalem.
That's awesome. I love that story. See, that's the way. I'm sorry, Rene, but this is so much more interesting to me. That's why I wanted to just play this game without knowing what I'm doing, because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
If you're just a bumbling idiot and you don't, maybe I should play it with someone who's not good at it.
It's great fun, yeah.
And I wanted to mention it's not that long ago, there was a post on the blind Reddit. Interestingly, someone released a mod for Crusader Kings that actually makes it completely screen reader accessible. At least
that's cool.
As far as this person claimed. I haven't tried it, but I've been meaning to sort of try it out. So maybe one day we'll do that. I don't know. It's probably that probably is only applying to Windows, where I so far have resisted having a screen reader. But like maybe I'll have to bite the bullet. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, that's cool.
As I said, it's good fun, and even more so if you just allow the game to happen and don't have any particularly any particular goals. Basically, you just let it happen. Follow the story.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So this is where I would say that I want to take a break, but I don't need to take a break. We thought about putting like breaks in the podcast.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Let's have a break. So the game I want to talk about is Indika. Have you heard of this?
Indika?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Indica. Can you Google it, and can we possibly watch a trailer?
That's not okay.
I don't know what you're going to find.
With a K. Okay.
Oh, with a K? Okay, I was wrong.
Yeah, but just
not into spelling.
No, what is it doing? I'm on the Steam page, and it's opening somebody's stream. We do not want that. Okay. What am I looking at? There's a picture of a lot of nuns. Maybe?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're on the money. Is there a trailer?
Yes. Let me read the blip first.
Sure.
Play a third-person, story-driven game set in alternative Russia of the late 19th. It's in Roman.
Yes.
Numerals. 19th century, where religious visions clash with harsh reality. Indika tells the story of a young nun who sets off on a journey of self-discovery with the most unusual companion by her side, the devil himself.
So the thing about me, you might not know this, but I'm really into nuns.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Hear me out.
I didn't know that.
Sort of, this is a thing. Like, that's sort of a trope in like stories, I guess. Like nun and monk related fiction. I apparently am really into that. Here's a little list. The Brothers Karamazov by Dostoevsky, probably an influence to this game. You know, one of the main characters is a monk or like an ex-monk. Umberto Eco's Name of the Rose, like a monk monastery-based detective story. That's cool. I talked about it on the stream before.
I should watch that again or read it.
It's really good
at some point.
Yeah, you have to get through. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that book now. The Neil Stephenson's Anathem, also like that's it's so cool, that book, man. You should read that one. That's about no, I know you didn't like the other one, but let's not talk about that now. And that book is like also monk main character. So you start in the monastery and then it turns into a sort of 90s Bruce Willis Armageddon-esque we have to save the world story. It's amazing.
Okay.
I love it. And but you see a pattern develop here. I love this whole idea of having this sort of secluded, contemplative, very philosophical person who then gets thrown out and has to sort of mix in with the nastiness of the world, right? That kind of clash. I'm generally into that when that happens in fiction. And I don't know if Indika does it, but it certainly ticks all the boxes. Oh boy.
Okay.
Also, the alternative Russia and stuff is very interesting. Like the Russia of the 19th century, a very different beast from what we're dealing with today.
Don Solarione. Oh, it is from 11-bit Studios. I've seen other game they created, The Invincible, and it was pretty good.
Oh yeah? Okay, that is very promising.
Well, okay, the
11-bit Studios
is the publisher. The developer is Oddmeter.
Okay, I mean, being from the same publisher, of course, also gives a certain degree of pedigree to a product, right? But can you click on the studio? What else have they made, if anything?
So 11-bit Studios have done The Invincible, which I think I've seen a stream of. Frostpunk, Indika, and they've developed this War of Mine, which I've...
Oh, they made that? Okay, I know about that one.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool game.
Wow, okay.
And what did the developer Oddmeter actually do? Not a lot.
Okay.
They have released one game, Sacrolith, The Archer's Tale.
Okay.
Is a VR bow and arrow shooter.
Well, that sounds kind of neat, but very different, very more focused.
Definitely.
But okay, like I'm willing to give it a shot, even if they don't have
a shot, you know.
Yeah, right. Did not intend for that. Wasn't Frostpunk that game that was really popular with streamers? Am I wrong?
Yeah, it's sort of a survival city builder, I think.
Yeah, that sounded fun. So this 11-bit publisher, very interesting, very promising in my opinion, and this might be a good game. Do you want to watch the trailer?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Do we get sound?
It's 5 minutes long.
I think if it's good, we can watch it.
Yeah,
all the way.
I'm gonna turn up the sound, and here we go.
Beat Studios. Today I have something very special for you. I wanted
wait. No, that's short gameplay with commentary. There is a trailer.
It's hard to imagine a place more distant from adventure than a convent.
Just watching a nun doing nun things working.
Yes, I'm here for it.
She's lifting a bucket from a well.
The heroine of this story, if it were up to her, would have preferred to stay within its walls. However, destiny had something different in store for her. Open it.
Riding a bike, exploring a village in the snow.
I feel like this game has a lot of contrast to the themes.
She's hiding from somebody. That's her.
God, I hope you can level up your praying in this.
I am pretty sure. She's carrying a letter, and now she's actually opening it.
How did that happen? First, you got pushed out of your house, and then out of the monastery. And if, by chance, you were to kill someone and go to jail, sooner or later you'd get pushed out of there as well. So where now? Huh? So many options.
Is this like... Okay, I'll talk about it later.
Grave, I think. Indika, ask and you shall be deceived.
Oh, that's so good. That's a Jesus quote, man, right? Like, ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find. You 11-bit, you know how to get me.
So there's a lot going on. Let me just go back to the beginning. Okay, she's working in this monastery alone for a while. There are no other nuns. It also did some very weird camera things.
Okay.
Like most of the time, like that. Most of the time, we just see her from a more or less normal camera perspective from a few meters away. And there were like 3 or 4 situations where the camera was basically connected to the face of the person, the main character in that moment.
Right.
Filming from directly below their nose, for example.
Okay. But is it like is it just the player that controls the camera?
I think that was just I don't think that is from the actual gameplay.
Okay. It's just a weird trailer effect.
Here's an actual gameplay moment where she takes the bucket out of the well, and we see her standing next to the well, her hands on the winch, and there's a lift the bucket prompt.
Is that what he meant when he said take it out?
No, he was talking about a letter.
Okay.
So at the, I don't know, 1 minute mark or so, she left the monastery, I think,
right,
to deliver a letter. That was her quest. Also, the game mechanics are interesting because they're quite the contrast.
Yeah.
Currently in the upper leftmost corner, there is the number 2034, and then a slash and 2190.
Probably XP.
Probably, yeah. But it's super pixelated. So in like 8-bit graphics.
Right.
And there was also something, let's see if I can find that. Okay, it looks like she also had like visions where she was exploring I don't know, like a cannery maybe, but there were giant fish floating around. Yes, here is the quest. Duty, all in black screen, just white letters on the screen, again in this pixelated font. Duty, deliver the letter to Father Herman at the Danilov Monastery, plus 100 points. And with, you can accept it with a left click.
That's what was missing in my nun and monk related fiction, like level up mechanics and XP.
There were definitely, like, they showed what you can actually do. Oh yeah, there's the...
So like a skill tree, because like you might think I'm being facetious. I'm not joking. Well, kind of, but it's also like I'm also serious in the sense that the idea of having skill trees and leveling up, like thinking about, do I level up praying or would I rather level up my visions or whatever? That gets me so excited, right? Because I do love my RPG mechanics. It's just occasionally, I've been playing games for a while and I've been there and thought about, do I level up Fireball or Spectral Blade?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Now I got improved Spectral Blade. Like,
there we go.
What?
I found the level up screen.
Nice. Can you describe it a little bit?
Yeah, it's very simplistic. At the top, it's a level up. And then you have a line of options that you go through. From the left, you start with 9. Don't know what that means. And then you can decide, in this case, the character or the mouse is selecting Guild 5, gain 75 points right now.
Right.
Or you can choose the other option, which I don't know what that is. Do they show that here? Don't think so. Nope. And it's okay. Oh yeah, repentance 7.
Nice.
Every time you get points, you gain a chance to get an extra 35. And below that, we can also see there's the XP numbers, I guess, to reach these checkpoints. So the 9 thingy is at 1,470, and then the next level is at 1,630, and it ends after 5 level ups with the giant star at 2,190.
Well, the thing is, I have no idea what these numbers mean because I don't know what gives how much XP in the game. Although we saw the letter with like 100 points. Right now, I'd be more interested in, any abilities and their names and descriptions.
Yeah.
But I'm also just happy. I'm already happy with what we've learned so far. Like, the rest I might just learn by actually playing the game. Because this is top of my list, I can tell you that. Like 4 candidates to play on HeMakesMePlay.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you think, Vincent? I know it might not tick your boxes as much as mine.
I don't really know yet. The level up mechanic seems pretty simplistic, to be honest.
Sure. But like more simple than Disco Elysium, because that's also right. You just have these skills and you put points in them.
Yeah, because in Disco Elysium you have to choose between 16 skills, I guess.
Okay. And here it's just not that much choice.
Yeah, here it's just choose option 1 or option 2.
Right.
And then once you get the next level, you get option 1 again or option 2.
Well, the way that might be exciting is what if it's random,
Yeah, maybe.
Then I love that kind of shit. Though I prefer having 3 choices in that case, but I know that's weirdly specific. But that's how Heroes of Might and Magic did it, and that was fun.
Yeah. I'm not super turned off by it. It's just seems pretty simplistic. So far, so did the gameplay in general, from what little I've seen. But the story certainly seems interesting.
Yeah, it sort of stands and falls with the writing and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I think the intro, I presume the guy who was narrating was the devil. And
Yes,
I think that works for me. That's I can work with that devil. That's a good version of it, right?
I agree.
Yeah, it's very promising in my opinion. And I don't know. I'd like to look into it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Definitely.
I wish I could play this with a real life nun, but I don't know any. I think that would be very interesting.
Neither.
Yeah. Maybe I should ask some nuns. They have to do helpful deeds, right? I could say, I'm a poor blind boy. I need help with something. Of course, my child. What is it that you need? There's this game, you see.
Is that how you corrupt them? You devil.
Yeah, and then she's like, but the level up mechanics seem a little simplistic, I have to say.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Honestly, it reminds me a little of the Telltale games, honestly. Just from
like Walking Dead?
Yeah, just from the graphics.
Yeah, I can totally imagine that.
There is a potential for HeMakesMePlay.
That's very good.
Yeah.
He makes me pray. That's been on my list for a long time, but She Makes Me Pray is even better. We might think about putting that in the title or whatever.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just it looks a little similar, though of maybe higher quality in the cutscenes.
Sure. I like the Telltale style, though. For me, that's not a downside, although I know that the Telltale games, they could there was some negative stuff about them. I'm being really vague, I know, but like, do you know what I mean? Like people, I like them, but I can see that people said it's like sometimes the story I think was a bit too linear or too railroady, I guess is the term I'm looking for. Would you agree?
Yeah, I remember playing the Walking Dead and really enjoying it. I think I've played it with Renee. I don't know. And I really enjoyed it until I figured out that decisions don't really matter as much as the game pretends they do. Which is, well, at that point, why make decisions at all, right? What's the game?
Yeah. I can see that. That's exactly what I was getting at.
Yeah.
So hopefully Indika is better at it.
I am quite intrigued by these visions and what little we have seen of the world.
The weird stuff, right?
Because at the beginning of the game, she was in a monastery, I think, and very low tech if you will. But here I've paused the video where she is in some sort of barrel. I don't know. Maybe there's steam
engines,
machines. Maybe.
Okay.
It's not quite clear, but there are also like she's in some kind of hall, and there are a lot of barrels stashed, like oil barrels.
Yeah, maybe an oil refinery.
And above them is something like almost like tracks for
a train.
A train, yeah, or maybe just a cart. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess if it's 19th century.
Yeah, it's the industrialization.
That's, appropriate, but also that looks interesting. And then the visions even more so. They were wild.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into the psychedelic aspects of monastic life. I'm looking forward to that. Also, where do you think the title comes from? Indika, because that's a strain of marijuana, right? Like, I'm no expert, but as far as I know, there's sativa and indica, right? Am I wrong?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. We need an expert. But
I am not.
Yeah, but that might be a reference to that. I don't know, which might speak to the psychedelic aspects. Because I vaguely remember that like one of those strains, according to experts, is like more of a sort of body kind of experience, and the other one is more mental.
Yes.
Right, and like maybe highlighting the more psychedelic aspects of the marijuana experience, and maybe it's indica, and that would check out with the flying fishes and stuff that you've described.
Yeah,
did they have flying fishes? Is that right?
No, they were hanging. But,
oh, okay.
Also part of this machinery thing, but
so maybe not hallucinatory at all.
Maybe not, but the colors would indicate that there was something going on.
It would indicate, would you say?
Also, you are correct. Indica is, this is all in German, so
nice. You looked it up. Very good. But is it the more mental one? What does it say? You're looking at Wikipedia. They're probably not going to get you tips on how to get high.
Well, you would think that.
You have to ask your AI. From now on, I'm almost at that point where I no longer Google shit. I just ask my AI.
I can't tell you.
Yeah.
It might be somewhere in here, but
all right.
No idea.
Well, we can. Speaking of which, so that was Indika. Thanks for talking to me about it, Vincent. That was like
sounds interesting.
It goes on the list. I'm very intrigued, obviously, but also I do know we have a long list, and the list is fictitious.
Yes.
It doesn't actually exist.
So
but
long.
I remember there's also that weird game about like from Ice Pick Lodge that we wanted to play.
Which one? They're all weird.
This small one about the small town, I guess in Russia. I guess if you want to be deep and literary nowadays, you just put everything into Russia. But it's about like old friends meeting there or whatever. I remember us talking about it. It's okay.
I'm looking it up right now, but I don't.
That's the thing. I wish they would list the sort of playtime for Indika. Because I could see this as an like 8-hour experience, and then I would just like cram it in between Baldur's Gate.
Which one of these is this? Know by Heart? Knock Knock?
I think Know by Heart. I think that was it, Vincent.
Childhood friends reunite
go.
after spending a long time apart, revisiting old memories and rekindling their friendship.
Is it set in Russia?
However, something beyond their control will ruin this reunion. It doesn't say, and it doesn't.
God damn it!
It looks like a fiction place.
The thing, so Ice Pick Lodge, of course, also made Pathologic, which is very much set in a small Russian town.
Yeah.
Kolya's gone.
Oh.
Sineda is worried because he promised to drive her to Kazan.
Depending on how long it is.
Bad premonitions.
Okay.
Something bad is going on in this town.
You need to see this.
Katya grabbed me and locked us in the bathroom. Dad banged
Just gonna maximize.
on the door.
He boozed away the last of his brains.
They say it's some kind of emergency.
I'm having deja vu. Like this has happened before.
This doesn't feel like the town I knew. Do you really not recognize me? Here's a clue. Tjoma, you, and...
Where is Asya now, alone in the middle of the night?
Hey, mister!
Trust is the most important thing now. Former friends are turning into strangers.
Sorry, buddy. An order's an order.
And I had the luck to get stuck with you here.
You here for a blood test?
What? Yeah, why, right? Pathologic was such an upbeat, joyful
Yes,
master.
I've seen the helicopters. Yes, I am home. I am fine.
Intercity travel has been suspended and curfews are in effect at night hours.
Yeah, this is depressing.
We steal.
None of these characters have faces.
What?
We're all shoot!
I'm going to get out of here. It's now or never.
Your time's up.
This is like pathologic mini.
See you tomorrow.
Kind of, yeah.
I hope
It's also
there will
like
be
the
Spoilers for
tomorrow.
pathologic.
The graphics are sort of
The tea is so
reduced.
delicious. Just like when we were kids, home after a snowball fight.
As
I
kids,
think I've seen enough.
we were
I don't know how long
always
this goes.
anxious to know what the fence was for. What was on.
All right. Also, damn you game developers. Now I want to play this as
Yeah,
well.
of course.
I mean, I say it's depressing, but I also like it, right? But it's just I get a different vibe. Interesting comparison right now. Thanks for watching these trailers with me because I feel like Indika is such a... They're similar in ways, but also very different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the tone I get from Indika is very upbeat and joyful, even though it probably also has some heavy subject matter, I would assume. But it's very different. This has this difficult piano in the background, and it's very ponderous. But not bad. Like I think the voice acting is also fine for what they're going for, I guess.
Yeah. I'm just still intrigued by the faces.
What do you mean they have no faces? Like in a horror movie, like just a mask of flesh?
No. I mean, so what we see here is we follow a character, a male character in blue shirt, dark pants around this small village or town, and see him in different situations, sometimes alone, more often than not with someone else. And the graphics are pretty low fidelity, I would say. And they just don't have faces.
Yeah, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, it's just like imagine you make a person out of clay, and you just don't make a face. It's just
they have no eyes and no nose.
Yeah, just the head shape.
So it is actually. It's like flesh mask. Maybe sounds too much like horror movie, but like it's a mannequin. You know, like a clothes puppet.
Basically.
Wow. Okay. Isn't that super creepy?
But not even. No, you're correct. Some of the more modern mannequins, I guess, have
they have
hints of eyes and stuff like that.
So a low fidelity mannequin.
Yes.
All right.
But then they have like detailed hands, for example. It's just.
But from the trailer, I gather that the theme of the game is sort of memory and recognition and lack thereof, and this might be a very conscious choice on the part of the developer.
Yeah, I will also say there were at least two situations in this trailer where the gameplay was basically puzzling out a picture that was broken up into different parts.
Right.
And they were just like pictures you would take on a vacation of a group of people.
Yeah.
And in that case, they do have faces.
So in your memory, they do. Maybe this is about a person who is suffering from face blindness. And what a great way for games to give you that experience.
Maybe that, or just some kind of memory loss illness, where they just don't remember who that person is they are talking to.
Yeah. Or like they got a traumatic brain injury and now they can't recognize faces anymore, but they can still remember them.
Yeah.
It's all very interesting. Too many good games.
Uh-huh.
Like this also has me intrigued. Yeah. I'd probably decide now just based on playtime, but I guess they don't list that, right?
No. I mean, we might find out.
Yeah, but we can do research on stream. But that was fun. Thanks, Vincent, for indulging my interests. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Dungeon About. you can join us live for the recording of this podcast, usually every Thursday at 4 p.m. Central European Time. We stream it on twitch.tv/HeMakesMePlay_live. You can also check out our Let's Play content on YouTube, youtube.com/@HeMakesMePlay. And we are also on Twitter. Follow @makes_play. Bye everyone. See you next time.